Right, provide a 300, right, James Wallace, oh dear. Out of the frying pan into the fire.
Cut down the tree.
Sir James, love that man. Okay, Ian.
This is,
Who's got this? It's you, isn't it?
well, this is the James
Oh,
Wallace.
This is the
Homestead.
Phoenix Palm.
They're all running for cover.
Well, I hope
On
not.
the regional hit list.
So, yeah, Your Worship, just depends what you'd like commented on. I think that we've been across this issue quite a bit.
The understatement of the year.
Get it down.
Yeah, well, I think what we'll do first of all, Alf,
Yeah.
is just
Up
get
the
a bit of
tree.
a heads up as to exactly what the problems are, and then I'm sure you'll have a question that will dovetail in behind that.
Oh, no, it's a comment in regards to the reports that have already gone through the ACE committee that will be helpful in regards to the seeking of a full report. That's all it was to say that we've already done some work through the ACE committee around Wallace, and I think that'll be helpful to complete the full report that is asked here. That's all my comment was.
Okay, but we're also providing the ongoing budget. So we need
Agreed.
we just need, I mean, because this has been on my plate, it's been on everyone's plate.
Yeah.
You know, and,
You know, mine as well.
so, look, in behind what Councillor Alpha's had to report to us, can we just remind us of exactly what the problem here is?
It's in here.
Because we made a deal to allow that guy
Exactly
to
what I
put
said.
a cafe out there.
And they can't. So when the deal was done, it was intended that we would provide a functions facility which would generate operational income for the trust, and that would be used to fund its operations. Where the functions facility was planned, there is a Phoenix Palm in the middle of it. We have been unable to get agreement between our Heritage team and Historic Places Trust and our consenting team about removing the palm, so it's a protected tree, and we're unable to remove the tree. We've investigated another couple of sites to see if there are alternatives, and there are not.
Exactly, so we're stuck.
So that's what I'm saying about the reports, Your Worship, that have come through to the...
Anyone got a drill
concentrated on that.
We shift 1,000 Phoenix Palms a day.
I know, and there's hundreds at Hobsonville Point. You can just go there and
just
have a
saying.
look.
And they're on the
And they're
regional
really
hit
old.
list.
So can I just be clear that this
Downright
tree
dangerous.
is specifically scheduled, and so we just
Who
need
did
to be
that?
careful about how we handle this, keeping in mind that we also want this to be a self-funding facility.
And Mr.
And
Chairman,
therein lies the challenge on this particular site.
That's the issue.
and Mr. Chairman, can we also just reflect on the fact that this is an outstanding success for Auckland? You know,
Yeah, it is.
the Pa Homestead, the trust, it's much visited. We don't want to see people being levied in terms of going in for general entrance. There are some big commitments that we've made to Sir James in the past, and we have this issue in the short term and an operational sense. So I think there's a measure of good faith in here to make sure that we are continuing to support one of the most beloved and most well visited galleries and parks in the region.
Well, I totally tautoko that. I mean, but that's not going to get us anywhere at this point.
Yes, but we can't actually pass a resolution
I know,
today to chop down a tree.
I'm just wanting to
You could shift the tree.
think a little bit. Okay. So considering we've sort of been working away on this problem for 4.5, 5 years now, which is, you know, not too bad for Auckland, I would have thought, Uncle Dean, that this would be a special task for you.
He gets all the good jobs.
Just pick it up, sell it for
And,
several thousand
okay, so
dollars.
understand the schedule part. Pa Homestead has just been a stunning success. And James, what can you say about that guy? He's just an outstanding man in Auckland. And so there are a couple of quite important factors for us to be reflecting on there. What I would like you to do overnight, because you haven't got a job overnight in terms of anything that we've given you to do so far, would it be possible to work with Ian and give us a précis of a work plan to really try and nail this issue? All right?
So
Because, I mean, we're basically asking for a report. Well, I mean, God, when's that? How long's that going to take? Come on. You know, let's try and really focus on what is the way to nut this, so that when I vote tomorrow for 360,000 along with my colleagues around this table, we have a really good idea that this is something that we're not throwing good money after bad on, that we can in fact deal with the palm and in fact deliver on our part of the bargain, and we'll find another space to build this facility.
So I feel like it's a request for the wisdom of Solomon at this stage.
Well, welcome to my job.
The only comment I'd like to make is that we do have a solution, and that is that you continue the operational funding, or we remove the tree, and that's where the wisdom of Solomon is required.
Move the tree, they're dangerous. Move the tree.
But we've looked at alternative locations for a functions facility, and in the context of Pa Homestead, that doesn't work. So we're between a rock and a hard place in this, but we will give great thought to that overnight, and we'll come back to you tomorrow morning.
Good man.
The mayor suggests nailing the tree.
Hang on, I don't want any more waving at me.
Or a tree house
on this one, we've got a list, not a big list of things that we will address tomorrow, and I really want some definitives. If it's, well, we can do this or we can do that, I want to know exactly what that looks like. And this is without prejudicing or compromising what our decision tomorrow will be. But I would like to know a little bit more. Now, I've sort of been, even though it's on my list, I've sort of been trying to get better optics around it and have failed dismally so far. Okay?
Understood.
So we lose nothing from just getting a bit more around this. And Madam Chair, you will have something to say about this tomorrow too, I'm sure. Okay. Now, another matter, this is joining the list. The issue, do you want to talk about that Pa Homestead
I
thing?
do.
Can we wait till tomorrow, or is there something further you want?
There's something further I want.
Okay.
There is a joint management committee that oversees Pa Homestead and the running of the James Wallace Arts Centre. It has two council representatives. I'm one and Michael Wood is the other. Perhaps tomorrow you can tell the councillors how that works, because there has been exceptional oversight on this particular issue.
Well, it's 5 years of oversight. No solution. We need to make a decision on this.
But the tree's still there.
Okay, now, part of my budget has been housing, emergency housing and homelessness. Now, I know you don't have a lot of optics over this.
No.
I'm actually giving you a report that is the basis of my decision-making for your consideration tonight, and we can finally vote on that tomorrow. All right? So, I mean, I'd be quite happy to just run this through today, but I think that it, at the very least, is, from my leadership position, the very least that I can provide you with is that, and we can have a more informed discussion tomorrow on that particular budget. Hopefully, Councillor Dick?
Mr Mayor, in your report to us tomorrow, would you please make sure that you also outline what central government is doing in this space?
Absolutely. Yep, yes, I will. I mean, as you know, it's quite a big issue, and so I'm hopeful that I'm not overstepping the mark in terms of what I'm proposing. Okay, right, so the other list of 4 or 5 issues, as I say, we'll deal with those tomorrow, if that's okay. Now, water supply and wastewater. So basically...
Mr Mayor, sorry, does that include the reso that I put up about MCC? Thank you.
Yep.
Also hydrodynamic
Yes,
modelling.
yep. Confirmed budgets and water, wastewater, I think that's pretty much as per our... there's been no one really sticking their hand up on this. I'll move it.
I'll second.
Thank you.
Second, Councillor Ross. All those in favour say aye. Aye. Against passed. Local board discretionary
Record my
cabinet.
vote against.
Sorry?
Record my vote against.
Thank you, Wayne. Now, the next one we've got is local board discretionary capex. Okay, so this was the partly new budget for our local boards. I think the general view is it's good. Now we need to work out where it's going.
I'll second that.
Councillor Penny will move it and Councillor Ross will second it. I'll move that. All those in favour say aye. Aye. Against passed. Okay, we're on. Holy transformational shift. Got up. Detachment and A7 to the agenda. And David, as chair,
I'm happy to second.
Okay, so we've got a new S and a new T. And councillors, I will, Grant, welcome. You may recall some parts of the discussion we had, what's today?
Today's Thursday.
It was Wednesday, wasn't it?
Yesterday.
On Wednesday, yes. That's right, yesterday. The information that we had received from the Independent Māori Statutory Board in terms of their view as to how the transformational shift budgets were being reported, and that they felt that there should be a specific acknowledgement for identified contribution and a specific acknowledgement for co-governance, co-management, as one was not mutually inclusive of the other. I am very relaxed about that, understand why that has been asked for, very happy to third or fourth that, if that's been moved by yourselves.
I'm certainly happy to move that.
Okay. Now, David, you might want to just sort of back up what your view of that is, and then my understanding is that you have other proposals that you would like us to consider.
Yes, Your Worship. And T is simply this, is that, as I said earlier today, that the co-governance or the Māori Authority arrangements are treaty settlement redress. There are a number of activities within there that can be deemed not a Māori outcome or transformational shift, i.e., for example, or e.g., for example, toilets on a wāhi tapu. That comes under the CapEx costs. So rather than we wanted to apply the criteria that we'd set, but that hasn't occurred, and we think that's most appropriate to recognise them separately and the benefits that come from in that case. And you explained that very well, Your Worship.
Okay.
I'm happy to address the other matters.
All right. So we'll just let see Councillor Ross second that. Good. Well. Okay, now, Member David has a range of proposals.
Yes, because of the way it was, and I could go through a number of pages reading out the process to date and the chronology of it all. We want to move on and be able to get the plan secured and move forward, but there are a couple of key recommendations that we think we would like to see. They probably could have gone in reverse order, but simply the bottom two have been Roman numeral 4, and I'll call them 4 and 5, is because they are about ongoing work and the programs in the transformational shift and working with Te Toa Takatini and the work that the CEO has been doing. There are two ahead of that, and they are about agreeing to identify additional projects to a level of 30 million on enhancing the Auckland Plan outcome of Auckland's Māori identity as a point of difference through sculpture and public art and the city centre integration projects. And for me, I want to be clear, from our perspective, that's about identifying those projects, that's within existing envelopes, it's not about new money or anything like that, and it's a process which is really follows on from the latter two proposed amendments about that continuing work together. So that's really, in a nutshell, is just wanting to be sure of the long-term ability to continue that work that we set out, the work that's been done with the ELT, led by the CEO, and enable to ensure that we're continuing to work at projects that can work within existing envelopes to reflect the unique difference of Māori in Auckland.
Okay, now, councillors and members, David, I presume that Glenn will second this?
Yeah.
Yep. What I suggest here is, because this is new to us, Grant, what I'd like to do is leave this lie, and if you can come back to us tomorrow with some sense of a response and context to help us in our decision making. All right? Okay, councillors. So if we can go back to perhaps the ones that we can move, so we got moved and seconded there, and So I'm quite happy to move that. Is there any discussion on that? Councillor Chris, D?
Thank you. So this is a change from our own staff. They are starting to break the co-governance and co-management arrangements out, and they are not identifying them as direct Māori outcomes. Is that what is being said here?